Greetings, YouTube. It is I, Sakarma, coming to you from Total Brohammer on a what day is it? Tuesday night. Uh, I'm a little drunk. I don't have pants on. I'm quite sick. John's quite sick. God is dead. Just another regular day, and you guys are coming to Total Brohammer for that consummate professionalism that we always provide. And I laugh at my own jokes, of course. Let's slow it down while I continue to inundate you with my beautiful comedy. Speaking of God is Dead, have you guys ever heard of Big Team 10 or whatever they're called? Team 10, the YouTube fucking stars? Man, I mean, I don't know if I want to be alive anymore with that going around, but that's another story for another time. Anyways, so what are we doing here? So we're doing good old Dark Elves versus Lizardmen. Some of you guys like to want to see Dark Elves, and John and I don't really play Dark Elves too much. I think part of that is because Dark Elves, Lizardmen, Beastmen, Scave, and I've said this multiple times before, are I think a little bit of a league above every other faction. I think for me, Dark Elves are my best faction to play with, but I just don't enjoy it because I think you pretty much bring the same standard Dark Elf build almost, unless you want to be experimental, but the most competitive build is pretty standard, in my opinion, no matter what faction you play, and I find that kind of dry. It just points to the fact that their units are just a little too cost effective, a lot of them. But that's, again, we've discussed it before. You guys can go see Salt for the Salt God for me to go elaborate on it, which got so many dislikes. Oh my god, people don't like it. People don't like me bitching. What's with that? Nobody wants to hear me bitch? That's why you guys come here? Anyways, so let's get on with it. So I played this guy the game before. What's his name? Oh, I can't see it here. I think it's Salt and something or other. And he was a good player. He beat me pretty resoundingly. And I was like, all right, I got to redeem myself. I've been losing a lot on ladder lately, like a lot, like depressing amount rather. So I was like, all right, he's going to go Lizardman, the only faction that I feel really confident. I mean, Wood Elves too, but I think I'm more confident with the Dark Elves. So I was like, all right, let's do it. So I brought the Dark Elves. So let's go quick on army composition because I've already wasted enough of your time, and then we'll get it going. So what did I bring? I brought Malekith on a Dragon, and I brought Chillwind. I think it's, what's that one where he takes power from people? Power of Darkness, Chillwind, Soul Stealer, of course, and then Gaze of Malice. Pretty standard stuff. I brought 1, 2, 3 Dread Spears, 2 Black Orc Corsairs, 2 Hargonath Executioners, and 2 Witch Elves, along with 3 Dark Riders Repeater Crossbow. And you can see I had them actually angled all around my front line because I was expecting, a lot of Lizardmen players will just forward deploy their guys right here because it's so hard to catch them because they have the poison, they can shoot while moving, all that, blah blah blah, and they're so sparsely. You can see they're like super, not ragged. I don't know what the term, staggered. Rather, that's the word. They're staggered, so it's hard to even get damage on a good charge, and you'll just take so much damage. Even with Malekith, like 80 armor, they'll just chew through that, especially 3 of them. So I see a lot of players put them over there. And my plan was they'd all be facing their back, and they'd be able to shoot them, and then be able to tie them down, charging in. And I think their stats might be better. Was it? Oh, no, maybe not. 18, 16, 19, 20. No, they would definitely lose that fight. But they could hold them down enough that Malekith could get in there and maybe get some kills. It probably actually would have worked out worse for me, so I'm glad he deployed over there. But anyway, so that was my thinking. My opponent brought these 3 Chameleon Skinks in the front line. He brought a Skink Priest of Heavens up here. He brought a Skink Chief over here. A Basilodon Solar Engine, which is a solid pick against Dark Elves because it does a lot of damage to, I was going to say Kozilek, I don't know why Malekith. You have Crocker over here, and I'm sure he's rocking the usual goodies. Yeah, he's rocking the usual stuff. And then we have over here some Feral Cold ones, I think on both flanks. There's 2 of them. Another one over here. And then he's got just a line of, intermixed of Skinks with Javelins, Saurus Warriors, just all the way down. No spears, surprisingly. No spears at all, so that's an interesting pick. I guess he was just more focused on getting my inventory. Anyways, let's get started. There's a lot going on in this game, even though it's quite long, but a lot does happen. So right off the bat, I take some damage here. I only lose 1. One made into 6 after that Basilodon, but I lose a few guys. That's not so bad. I get a Chillwind over here. I think I have 2 more damage. Did not. Didn't even kill a model, so that was probably a waste. He does have the Skink Chief here, which is absolutely dangerous because it can just shoot forever because it has 100 bullets. So I really want to get rid of it. One of the positives of this, I forgot to mention I have a Feral Cold one in the back here. Or not Feral Cold, what are they called? It's Cold One Knights. In the back there hidden. I was going to bring them at the right time. So these guys are just hard to catch because they're pretty fast. They're faster than a dragon. They can shoot while moving. They poison, and even though their shots don't do that much damage, about 70 damage per attack, and he's got whatever he had like close to skeleton health. He has 100 ammunition, so 100 times 70 is what? That's 7,000 damage. So if he just shoots the whole game, he will kill Malekith, and Malekith can never catch him. So as the game goes on, this guy's gonna be super dangerous. Meanwhile, I'm moving my line up. I'm trying to get good firing arcs. He's also really small, which makes these shots just not do that much damage. I mean, 1 volley will take down most units to at least 20% or 50% health. It doesn't really do much damage because he's just really tiny. So I'm trying to move these guys up, trying to find the best targets. I realize the Bastiladon is probably better, although I do want to get damage on this guy because I know they can heal it up, but it's still worth it as the game goes on. I'm moving up my lines. He is trying to... I thought this Skink was a Skink Priest the whole time. Sorry, Skink Chief the whole time. So I was shooting at him. That was probably a mistake. I mean, he is a magic user, so it's good to take him out. But, yeah, and the further I push up Malekith, the more he's likely to get hit by these javelins, all the other stuff. I'm a little jumbled in my lines, but I'm starting to charge in. I have no idea these guys exist, but that's okay. He's going to try and charge these guys off, but that's not really doing much. I wasn't really sure how to engage, because again, I didn't know how much of the army. I'm able to catch the Skink Priest over here with a couple hits, which is huge. Again, anytime you can waste that healing. I decide to hit this Bastiladon with these Dread Spears, but they're going to get smashed by these Saurus Warriors, of course. Meanwhile, look how much damage they're doing to Malekith. I mean, just so much. And I get a nice little Soul Steal here. I mean, there's just a lot of units in here, and I wanted to heal up, so I figured that was a good time to use it. It's going to do damage to this Bastiladon. It's going to do damage. Over here, we're doing good damage to the Skink Chief. He got caught in Crossfire, so that's good, because, like I said, he's super dangerous. You know, you wouldn't think so to look at him, but he is crazy dangerous. What does he look like, that? Actually, I've never seen the model. I don't really pay attention to the model. What's he look like over here? Yeah, this guy's a real piece of shit. Oh, man, look at you. Yeah, I don't like him. He's got all these skulls on his stupid... Is that hanging off his banner? That's confusing. But yeah. Oh, there's blood everywhere. Look at that. Look at that. Arrows everywhere. All right, yeah. So I'm not a fan of these guys. I mean, they're mean. They're really good. They're just annoying. Okay. Meanwhile, so I get a little gaze at Mouse in there. I'm starting to charge ahead. Again, I don't know this guys. I figure my Corsairs will trade okay with Saurus Warriors. Sending the Witch Elves in was a huge mistake. I should have kept them back. I don't know why they're up there. I was hoping they might be able to... But once I saw them there, I was like, oh, maybe they could catch Crockguard and enrage him, and I get some Flame Breaths off. And over here, I'm sort of doing a lot of damage to the Bastiladon with the Solar Engine. On the flank, I am moving my my Cold One Knights, and I caught his Feral Ones when he wasn't paying attention, so I got a nice little pick up there. It's an easy kill for my Cold One Knights. Meanwhile, over here, the Bastiladon is going down. The Witch Elves and these Corsairs just get wrecked by Crockguard in short order, which is to be expected. But I don't mind that trade. I've taken out Bastiladon. I sent some Corsairs here just to bog down Crockguard, but again, he just worked right through. It's a huge hit on Malekith, so that's not doing well. Over here, I have my Witch Elves chasing. Big mistake again. I just wanted to move them off, and they're pretty fast, so I was hoping they could chase them and maybe even catch them, but that's probably... Actually, what is the speed difference? Let's find out. Sorry, I have to keep pausing. They have 34 speed, but they're being poisoned. These guys have 40, so they'll never catch them. That was probably a huge mistake. But yeah, so anyway, so that's going on. Let's take this down. So there's a lot of fighting. These Witch Elves have actually come back, so that's good. And I get a nice little breath attack on Crockguard. Didn't do as much damage as I would like, but it did a little bit. And any of the damage you can do on Crockguard is great. I put these guys off of what it's called. Oh, he gets a nice little Cast of Heavens, what it's called. Breath. He attacks these guys. Big mistake. So he loses his cast over here. That's a huge move. I forgot to take these guys off, or put them back onto skirmish, so they get hit off. Meanwhile, I want to just note something. So I have one here, one there. But remember I brought 3? Yeah, they're way over here, being chased away by these Feral Cold Ones, which came up from the other flank. So they're way off over there, and I just totally kind of forgot about them as this battle's happening. I mean, I knew that it was happening, but I was like, I don't want to try and path them, because they're on skirmish, right? So they'll keep running away, and they are faster by a good margin. Yeah, 70 compared to like 92. But if you path them, they might get caught, and if they get caught, they'll get killed, so that's rough. So I was just like, all right, I don't mind them being over there. I'll bring them back later. They'll have tons of ammo. If this game goes on long, which it will, it'll be helpful. So you see over here, again, Crockguard's just chewing into my infantry. But I do get Witch Elves there, and this is huge. As we all know, this is probably, this is the best way for Dark Elves to counter Lizards, is get their Lords in the back lines, unprotected, unsupported, and just go to town. And I mean, I can put Malekith in here, and he'll take some damage, but Crockguard's just going to go fucking nuts, right? Like, he's going to attack left, right, center, it doesn't matter. He can't focus him on Malekith, so I can do a lot of damage and take relatively little return. I mean, I say that, but it's not looking so well. He charges these Skinks in here, but I have a decently healthy Executioners, but they'll be able to just absolutely screen them. These guys are coming in, but they're only Skinks. Everything I have here will be able to kill them, although Crockguard is kind of out of here. And that's not good, but I get a nice little Soul Stealer on him, so that'll do some damage. I have these guys shooting at him. At least I think, yeah, I do. They're just slow to fire. I have a little crossfire here, both sides. I have my Cold One Knights coming in. So over here, and I get a nice little breath again. So I'm just trying to take Crockguard down, because that's huge, right? That is game changing. Because other than the Skink Priest and these Skinks over here, which can do a lot of damage, with their range, Crockguard's the best tool they have to deal with Malekith. So I get Crockguard here, and he starts routing. That's giant. I mean, that's absolutely massive. And I have these Corsairs running to these Skink cohorts to screen them away, and that's huge because they're tracing off my horsies. And I'm like, okay, what do I need to do? I need to kill Crockguard. I mean, this guy cannot come back. So I send everything at him. I'm losing infantry over here. But I think it's not a big deal because So at this point in the game, I'm like, okay, Crocker, I should be able to kill him. And then I just see all these units. I'm like, oh, I've got this. But I don't really notice these units in the woods like these guys. And I think there's more over here. No, there's not. There's one of my units. Oh, two of my units. But yeah, I don't know. It just didn't seem like there was that much. I was like, oh, this is GG. This is game. I've got this. But as you can see, it does not happen that way. So we're chasing off Crocker. I send these guys in to do melee just to bog him down. Just anything to keep him stationary while I can just get one hit with Malekith. Because he only has like something, 249 health. You see Malekith's a little funky. Oh, he dodges that laser. That was cool. Dodges the laser. But Malekith gets him with a bite down his ass. It's running away. And that's huge. Death to the Emperor. Or death to the Emperor. Death to the foe's Emperor. No, death to their general. That's huge. And now I'm like, okay, I've got this in the bag. It should be my game. But he just has so many shots left on these chameleon skinks. And they're actually not bad. They're no slouches in melee, as everyone knows. Skink Chief has a ton of shots because he has 100, so he's only used half, and he's still poking away at Malekith. Malekith doesn't have that much health left, only 1800. I don't know how much magic I have left for like a Soul Stealer. I get a nice little breath attack, but it just doesn't do that much damage. Even head on, that was a good angle. It just didn't do a lot of damage, and I can't get Malekith too close in there because he's going to get whittled away between the Basilodon and these guys. So I need to get rid of this Basilodon. Absolutely crucial. Over here, these guys have Rampage and they're chasing off my repeater crossbowmen. These Argonauts Executioners are cowards. I mean, they should fight these guys. They could probably kill them, but whatever. What can you do? Meanwhile, my Cold One Knights are still around. And I still have a decent amount of ammunition, 2 or 3 shots on these guys, 2 or 3 volleys, 2 volleys. So they can do a lot of damage. Malekith takes one in the butt in revenge for his move on Crocker earlier. These guys I sent in to fight these Source Warriors, but I didn't realize how quickly and how poorly they'll perform. I mean, they just lose health so fast because their stats are garbage. 24, 26. It's only with that bonus first large where they actually half competent. So they're just poking away Malekith, just every hit, just whittling away, and I'm just powerless to stop it because if I get closer, they'll just melt him in moments. So I'm like, okay, force path these guys, get around, kill these dudes. That's absolutely necessary. And if they're going to take some shots on the way, fine. I mean, they have a decent amount of armor, 90, and they have shields. This is okay. I get a nice little Word of Pain or whatever it's called now. Soul Stealer rather on him. That's going to do some damage. He doesn't have much, 1200 left, and it's going to heal me up, which I desperately needed. Probably wasn't the best place to use it, but it was more a panic move. Meanwhile, over here, my Cold One Knights have gotten this Basilodon Rider. He's going down. We're going to dance on his corpse. We're going to eat that crystal. We're going to just show them what's what. But my Cold One Knights are in a bad situation right now. They've rampaged. They're going to fight these Source Warriors. They're screwed. This guy starts retreating. I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. If we can just get him. And he just misses that attack, even though his melee defense is so low. It's like 36, and his is like 50-something. Yeah, that bummed me out. Because that attack would have done so much damage. Probably gotten rid of him, to be frank. But no, he just can't quite make it. Over here, I send these guys in to fight these guys. That was a big mistake. I didn't realize how shitty these guys are at melee, which makes sense. I mean, they're only 650 spend. So that's a huge mistake on my part over there. I should have never done that. Should have never done that. I shouldn't have. Over here, there's just fighting. These Feral Cold Ones are still chasing these guys. And both these units over here. But I have some Hargonath Executioners come back, so hopefully they can do some damage, although they probably won't. Meanwhile, over here, his Skink has come back, and there's no way I'm going to catch him. And Malekith is like, I think at this point I have 0 magic reserve. And you can see every hit does like, what was that, 65 to 13? So that's 52. So just like 50 damage every hit. And he still has like, what, 43 shots. So 5 times 4 is 200. So 50 times 400 is what? 20,000? That sounds ridiculous. But 50 times, 40 is 2,000, right? Yeah, 2,000. So he can do 2,000 damage with what he's got. And I've got well less than that. So he only has to hit with half his shots. So I think at this point, actually, my opponent actually said GG, thinking the game was over. I'm pretty sure they thought they were just going to whittle Malekith down, which is, entirely what it looks like. But as you can see, there's still more to be played here. But yeah, my opponent said GG, and I was like, no, it's not over yet, Holmes. Holmes? You can't be calling GG on me yet, buddy. Meanwhile, my Capital Corsairs are over here. They're trying to get into these chameleon skinks. They're trying to get to these skink cohorts. It's another thing I want to note that I realized in this game. These are quite similar looking. I mean, they're not really that different. The banners for skinks with javelins and these guys, I mean, it's just difficult to tell the difference, especially at the end of the game where you don't have time to like zoom in. I mean, they look, different enough, I guess, but it's just, I don't know. I think the last game was much better in terms of banners and the way they were different. It was easier to differentiate. Like, for instance, Witch Elves and Corsairs are virtually the same. I mean, I know the swords are different, but the cross swords, I get they're dual weapon users, but I don't know, it's a little confusing. Anyways, so he's killing Malekith. He's bringing him down. 500, remember, he had 1,000 health at the beginning of this. 500, still has 34 shots. Malekith's looking in trouble, but I bring these guys, and I'm able to just screen them away with some volleys. And this is actually another thing I want to note in this game. There's a lot of things I want to note, apparently. So as you can see, the banner for the Feral Cold Ones is over here. But there's only 4 units over here. The rest of the squad is in here, eating my Dark Repeater crossbows. And I just didn't know. because otherwise I would have sent Malekith in there and gotten some serious damage. They don't have that much health left, and they would have been hitting the flank. They probably would have retreated, but I had no idea this was happening because their banner was all the way over here. So that was really frustrating when I saw that in the replay, because I did not realize it was going on during the game. But they just have 4 units over here, meanwhile 17 over here killing my guys, and I just wasn't paying that much attention because I'm too busy trying not to have Malekith die. Meanwhile over here I'm trying to clean up these guys, and that's not going well. You see he flies in a little close and he gets a volley to the face, but it doesn't do much. And they're also shooting at the same time, so it was very confusing. I was very confused as to how that was happening. Over here, I'm able to just get a nice little charge in and do some terror. They won't be able to do much damage to Malekith, so I don't mind him fighting in there. And those are the trees will provide some cover. Thankfully, this guy routes off, or else it would have been GG. If he didn't flee, it would have been over. But he does flee, and I'm like, oh, that's a reprieve. These guys are still dying. I just didn't notice because there's stupid banners over here. There's stupid banners way over here, and just really bothered me. But they're still shooting, and I think at one point he does shatter. I don't know exactly when, but Malekith's just flying around. He comes back, and then he starts taking fire, so that's gonna hurt his morale again. And I guess I don't know. And finally, I get rid of these Feral Cold ones because I see the banner over here again. Still never knew that they were fighting over here. It was all new. It was all news to me, and he does shatter. The loss of the Feral Cold ones does shatter. At that point, I mean, it's pretty much over. You have some cool things going on over here, like these Last Samurai, Helm's Deep, Harganeth Executors over here going after these beaten down Saurus warriors. They have a nice little brawl, and then they just get tossed away because the Harganeth Executors don't fuck around. But they only have 6 units. It was cool little battles. But basically, the remainder of the game is just a lot of kiting and charging and kiting and charging. I mean, the units he has are like skinks and rampaging Saurus warriors, and even with Malekith at 467 health would probably be able to destroy them all in one-on-one combat. But yeah, so we're just running around. I'm trying to consolidate my units, trying to chase things off. I'll even speed it up. I'll chase off these Feral Cold ones, just trying to make sure I get as many units together as possible. I do have, I am picking up some kills on these retreating units wherever I can, and obviously leading them on the merry old chase. Little Benny Hill action, going in the woods, making sure they're not coming over here. These guys, tear a route off. Malekith gets stuck in the woods, comes back, and then yeah, it's basically over at this point. Although it was very close. The balance bar, as you can see, is still dead even. It was dead even pretty much the whole game. But yeah, at this point, there's just not a lot they can do against Malekith, especially with their morale being so low. Although Chameleon Skinks have really high morale. So do these guys. But the morale being so low and the terror, pardon me, I can just get rid of these guys, and that's their killing power. And then you can see they start shattering off. And yeah, so really, really fun game, really intense game. Like I said, I don't particularly enjoy bringing Dark Elves or Lizardmen or Beastmen or Skaven. Although Skaven, I'm really bad at playing, so I don't feel bad taking them because I'm really terrible at it. I mean, I'm terrible, but I think a part of that is because I don't want to bring Blade Furnace and the Doom Wheels and units I don't really like to play with. But that's another story for a different time. Anyway, so what happened this game? So the Cold One Knights were huge. They were able to pick up an easy kill on these Feral Cold ones. That probably got, I don't know if it was them or the other ones that got 0, but they got an easy kill on those Feral Cold ones, which is, just 500 spend, no problem. And I don't think they lost a single unit because they got the charge off and they just do way better against these guys. So following that, they were huge. They were instrumental in taking out the Basilinoma Solar Engine, which is just a Malekith killer. I think if you watch the Salt God we have from a few months ago, or a month ago or so, they can do reap absolute devastation on Malekith in prolonged fire. They're quite accurate. They do good damage. They're hard to kill, and they're cheap. I think they're only 1,000 spend, so I mean they're really a good unit to bring in this matchup. Because even if you're fighting like Dark Riders, Keeper Frostbows, or pardon me, Harganeth Executioners, and Malekith's on foot or something, I mean you can just do tons of damage to everything. So good unit. Chameleon Skinks I agree with. They're the most annoying. They're one of the more annoying units in the game. They're very difficult to deal with. Range is difficult to counter them because I think they have that physical resist or missile resist. They have some resist, so it's difficult to hurt them with ranged, and they can move and they can fire, and their damage just despite not being armor piercing, it just absolutely wrecks things like Malekith and bigger targets. I get it only has 80 armor, which isn't world class, but still they just do so much damage. Saurus warriors are all just a staple. I mean they're the only real infantry unit besides Skinks and Temple Guard. So they're the best of the three. I mean obviously they hold up the best. They're the most cost-effective, and they're just really, really good units. They have crazy high melee defense. Skinks, the Skinks are Skinks. They're fast. They throw javelins. He Chevron the Mother of those kills. 102. That's a ton. I don't know what he was fighting. Probably Dread Spears. I'm surprised they got that many kills on Dread Spears. Regardless. Yep. And then of course Krokkar's standard pick, and Skink Priest with Heavens. Heavens is a solid lore magic. my army, you have the Hargoneth Executioners, which are, they're just there to take down. I mean, because these two can fight these four easily. In a prolonged fight, these guys will just murder them in relatively quick, short order, too. Of course, the problem with these guys is they'll also get trucked by Krokar or even larger units. They'll just get destroyed. So it's, risk reward, but with Dark Elves, everything's so efficient, you could probably bring one or two of them each match. Witch Elves are obviously critical. I mean, they help me get rid of Krokar. They are a must pick. I mean, they're a must bring in almost every matchup. I mean, maybe Wood Elves you wouldn't want them, maybe, because they have such low armor. But I think in most, pardon me, most matchups you can't really go wrong with Witch Elves. And then what else? Black Orc Corsairs are solid. I mean, I don't think they trade that effectively with Source Warriors, but for 600, you can't go wrong. I think if I were to do this again, I might drop one Dread Spear and one what did I want to drop? Thinking about that. If I dropped a Dread Spear and one Black Orc Corsair, or maybe two Dread Spears, a Black Orc Corsair, bring a Blackguard and Acheron. Makes me thinner for sure, but the Blackguard and Acheron will hold up really well at the front line, where these guys will not. So maybe that's something you could tool around with. I don't know. Maybe going wide was right. I don't know. One kill on these Dread Spears. Problem is, I should have kept them back. I should never sent them to the front line. That was just wasting there. But I wanted to, hold up the line and try and pick apart their army, which I was able to do by getting Malekith on Krokar. Well, anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Wish me a speedy recovery, and John as well. He's actually in worse state than I am. Yeah, and I hope you enjoyed our little video, and I hope to see you again soon. I think Lightning Strikes or someone requested Dark Elves, so here's your Dark Elves. And I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, day, month, week, year, life, whatever, however long that life is. All right, that's enough for me. All right, take it easy, guys, and see you around.